Well, watu wangu wa power is your boy Danny here na kama Rien. This is how we start our show, and remember today we are doing this on a different note because today we have someone who is very special to me. He was my principal at high school, and I really appreciate him for having me today. And remember guys, as we do always, let's go down there, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share with family and friends. Today we want to have a bit of a talk with my teacher from high school because it's been a long time since we met, and we want to help the youth out there so that they can know the reason where they are in this life, and we can show them the right path to what they want to do in this life. Sana we support our talents, and we also do so many things like education. Most people think that education is like a slavery, but today we want to know the truth, and we want to know where we are heading. Mwalimu, asante sana kwa kuja kwa show.
Asante.
And today we are having a bit of a discussion because most young people out there are really suffering, and they really want to know what they can do so that they can stop this suffering. And my first questions come in: why are so many youths interacted with the drugs and other kind of stuff?
Thank you so much, Daniel. First of all, let me take this opportunity to welcome you back to Leonia Secondary School.
Thank you so much.
This is your alma mater, and thanks for visiting us, coming to share with us what you are doing. We are happy when we deal with the young people, and especially when we are able to influence them positively. To begin with, I want to say that there are so many changes that have taken place in the country and in the world at large. There are so many social changes. There are so many economic changes. Things are not what they were in our days. And as far as your question goes, I want to believe, and actually that is so, drugs are readily available. They are all over. They are available on social media platforms. They are available in every village. Unlike before, when some of us grew up to be adults without having seen how banging looks like. So I want to say that is the reason I feel almost every young person is interacting with drugs nowadays. And if these young people are not guided well, they end up having a lot of problems. Because right now, it is not about keeping the youth away from the drugs. The drugs are within them, in their homes, in the schools, they are there. In fact, sorry to mention, schools are currently like the best markets for drugs. When drug peddlers see schools around them, they feel so good. They know that, wow, there's a big market here. And they'll try to get as many students to sell their products, which in this case are the drugs to the students. So the issue is not keeping them away from the drugs, but rather guiding them on how to carry themselves. I don't think we can have a world that is free from drugs. Going forward, drugs will always be there with us. They illicit, and even some of them sold in chemists, but supposed to be used on prescription by doctors, they'll always be available. So youth should be guided, and if they are guided, at least they'll be safe. But the drugs are readily available. They are all over. I'm afraid I might be having even drugs around my office planted without me knowing. That is the kind of world we are living in. Every garden has been turned into a garden for band and so on. Every bush that you come across. But we have hope in the sense that at least not every young person is taking that route. So we have hope that we shall overcome with concerted effort.
And Walimu, there's this question that many people ask themselves. They say that school is like a slavery pod, or it's like a prison where children are going to be pumped with education and so many other things. Can you please tell us what are other things that people do in school rather than education?
I wanted to say those of us who have benefited from education, I would say we look at education slightly from a different perspective, and more so the schools and the educational institutions, like a secondary school like in India, for example. And personally, I believe a school, well, much as there is pressure of the academic material that we pump into our students, an educational institution should never appear or look like a cell, should not be a slavery, a form of slavery. Is this not a jail? An education institution has so many other benefits, so many. I look at how our Form 1s enter and how they live at Form 4. Some of them come, they don't know even how to tie their ties, how to button their shirts properly, how to look neat. But after interacting with the other students in the school over the 4-year period, these students change the way they groom themselves, their mannerisms, the way they talk, and so many other things. Some have discovered even their talents because of schools, because we offer them an opportunity to nurture them, maybe through games, through nowadays what we call talent shows in schools. And students sometimes who never thought they can be anything in this world have ended up identifying that they have talents within themselves, which they have exploited, and these talents have helped them out there. So for me, I want to request all the young people, especially those who are looking at schools as bad places and therefore burning them down, so that they can go home where they think or feel home is better, to begin changing their attitude and embracing schools as places where their lives can be turned around, where they'll discover more meaningful things to do in this world, apart from academics. Yes, we cannot run away from the academics. At least we have to learn the ABCDs of the academia, especially the basic subjects like the languages, Kiswahili, English, mathematics. Well, those are subjects that we need even to interact with the world out there. And we cannot receive them at home. Definitely they'll be offered at school. But let's look at the wide array of good things that are available at school. Even with the academics, I think the academics themselves also present opportunities to students. You discover you are good in this subject, in that other one, and through the combination of several subjects, what we call the clusters, you discover you can become something which can be useful to you later on in life. So I think for me, yes, that has been the perception that schools are jails. It's a form of slavery because of perhaps the rules. There's so many do's and don'ts in schools which are not at home. There's more freedom at home, ideally. But the rules that we have in school, again, are to help us because in school, we have very many people putting up together. And if you don't have rules, let me tell you, that can be a recipe for chaos. You can have chaos like here in your dear secondary. We are approaching 1,000 students. So what do you expect of 1,000 students putting up together, staying together throughout the day with their teachers? Unless there are rules, we might not be able to manage. So those rules perhaps are the ones making them also, to some extent, think that school is a form of slavery. But those rules are equally good. It might not be easy to have rules at home. That's why there's that extra freedom. At home, what are the average number of children in a home? Maybe 2, 1. So those ones you don't need so many. Mzazi akisema wewe remain here, there is food hapa kwa fridge na nini, things will be okay. There's TV here, ukichoka una watch, you can sleep if you want. At school we cannot operate like that because at the end of the day again, these learners, once they are brought to us by their parents, when we hand them back to their parents, the parents want to know what have they gained at school. They can only gain something through well-structured learning environments, which include the rules that we are talking about. But as I've said, a school is a good place. It has so many benefits other than the book knowledge that people get.
Yeah, and Marine, there are so many schools where they host their talent show, and they come to tend that some of the students are limited to showcase their talents because of the academic performance or because of so many things. And can you tell us, because we don't have the same IQ, everyone, nobody is able to get an A in education and fail to get an A in talent. Can you tell us what are some of the measures you put inside when you are hosting a talent show?
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate our staff for coming up with this program where we normally have a talent show every year. Actually, as you have put it, we realize that not all our students can be good at the book knowledge, at the subjects that are taught in schools. And there are so many, with so many other talents. So we felt it's good that we help them to nurture those talents, grow those talents so that they can use them out there. Even the government of Kenya has realized that. And that's why the curriculum has changed to what we call the CBC, the competence-based curriculum. It will take care of all that. Where somebody was good in mathematics and another one was good in football, they can easily meet at the university. Everybody exploring their own different areas of interest. So as a school, you asked how we are able to, what measures we put in place. Of course, a school is a place where we are supposed to teach students positive values in life. So what we normally do as we host this annual event, one thing we do, we ensure that our students' presentations are within what we call morally acceptable levels. Because again, we must take care of our society. We should not allow it to be polluted in the name of everybody trying to come up with a new idea. I know somebody can, for example, want to showcase how he can drink so much beer, for example. That one, of course, we cannot allow. Someone will want to show us how he can smoke very many sticks of of cigarettes within a very short time, no. And even the dressing, we wouldn't want something that is what I would call as nudity. Someone is almost nude. We want something that is within the acceptable limits. The other measure we have put in place, we realize that when we have talent days, there are so many people who want to be part and parcel of it. Some local musicians, local artists, local comedians, and so on. As a school, we want to say pole to them because we have locked the doors to them. Our talent day, as for Nyondia Secondary School, I'm speaking on behalf of Nyondia. I'm not speaking for the other institutions. Ours is purely for our students. Because we usually say, well, if we bring in an established musician, for example, to come and perform, when will our students grow their talent? So we want that day, that time, to be for our students, to nurture their talent. When they go out there, they'll have other avenues again. Avenues are available all over to continue with their talents. While those who join us, again, we use the same platform to become, to perfect their talents. So those are some of the things we put in place.
And there are so many youths out there, maybe they are from your school or maybe from another different school, but they now regret why they didn't do their studies well, or maybe they didn't perform in their education because of the peers and they dropped out again in school. What is your advice to them? Because maybe right now they are regretting on all those things they did, on all those years they lost during their education period. What do you have to say to them?
Well, for them that have already left school, I think it is unfortunate that perhaps the available avenues to remedy maybe all the things they did wrongly sometimes are very limited. For example, not many parents are willing to say, I can take my son, I can take you, my daughter, back to school. But I wanted to say to the young people in general, every opportunity a young person is given, be it at school level, be it at college level, please utilize it well. It is a very short period of time. It's only about 4 years at most, 4 years. But these 4 years will determine 75% of your life on this earth. 75% of your life on this earth, which could be even the 75 years. 75% of your life will be 75 years. How I wish that these young people could take the 4 years seriously and religiously and go by what their teachers advise them. Because I usually feel as teachers, as the caregivers in these institutions, we understand the students better than they understand themselves. Perhaps a student will feel very okay with a Z, but as a teacher, I'm able to dig deeper. I'm able to see beyond what the student is seeing. I can see this is a B material. And therefore, because of that, I will handle the student like someone who wants the student to end up with a B I've seen. So the student should respect what we are doing so that they can be able to earn what they deserve, not what they want. As a teacher, we go for what the students deserve. While the student sometimes feels he goes by what he feels he can get. Yes. So what I can say is pole to them who waste their time. But as they say, someone can always look for ways of rectifying where they have gone wrong. But it is true, as you observe, there are so many who are regretting. I get so many calls of former students. They are telling me, Mwalimu, assist me with this, assist me even to get a job. But when you look at what the student got when the student was here, what the student was when he was here, you really sympathize, because there is nothing you can do. So I pray that those who are still with us will not waste or squander their opportunities that they are missing. They'll be careful enough to respect their parents for giving them those opportunities, because they not get them again. Yes.
So guys, as you have heard, you have to utilize the opportunity well. And remember guys, we are at the Nyondia Secondary School. This is my former school, and as you can hear behind the curtains that there's a lot of noise, because our principal has decided let the students showcase their talents today, and we really appreciate for that, because we as talented young people really want to be given that platform to showcase what we can do best. Remember guys, as we continue, let's go down there, hit the subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share with family and friends. So Mwalimu, there's this point where we reach in life and think that everything is not possible, and we tend to think that we as an individual cannot do this without the other thing. We cannot succeed without doing drugs, or we cannot succeed without being with friends. Can you tell us, can anyone succeed without any peers or any influence from their friends and drugs?
I want to say it is very possible. In fact, that is the right thing, the right order of things as God intended them to be. God has given us abilities as human beings, be they the talents, be they the ability to understand what our teachers teach us in the various subjects. So we don't have to go for drugs to be able to become, what young people think of superhuman. They think if you do bangi, you'll become a super mathematician. If you do bangi or other drugs, you'll become a super athlete. It cannot work, because what is there, the bangi will only make things worse for ourselves. It cannot help us. The bodies that God has given us understand the normal way of doing things. It is us as human beings who think we can make bodies superhuman. The body itself does not understand. That's why after taking a bangi, after taking drugs, the body reaches somewhere they reject. Either somebody runs mad, someone begins having other very many problems. Yes, it is also true. You can make it without the peer influence, unless we are talking of positive influence. That is okay. But negative is where you are taken to drugs, you are taken to all manner of things, running away from schools, truancy. Those are things that will not help us. People should learn to go by what is available at school, the teachers, the systems in place, and then they remember that in this world everybody should always try to work hard. Even wild animals work hard to eat. So if only people can work hard and they follow the laws and the rules that are laid down, definitely they'll make it in life. It is very possible. With working hard, people can never go wrong. That's what the advice I would give to young people. Yes, it is true there are people who have been academically down there, but they have worked hard and become something. There are people who have not had talent or have thought they cannot be anything, but as time goes by, they have developed some certain interests in certain areas, and out of those areas they have become people, and they are doing well out there.
Yeah, as we wrap up, Marina, there's that young person out there who wants to succeed in life, and he or she doesn't know the right path to pass through. I want you to advise the young person out there who is really determined to succeed in life, may it be in education, in talents, or in their career. What would you tell them?
One thing I would wish to tell people is that first of all, being a youth is a very is one of the stages of development that God has given us, and it's a very wonderful period of life. But it should not limit us from achieving our goals. I know there are those who feel like they are down there, they cannot be anything. I think for those ones, I can advise them to get in touch with mentors, where mentors can be parents, mentors can be teachers, mentors, their mentors can be church leaders, mentors can be even other young people who are seemingly doing well in life. They can help them, they can guide them, show them the right way. At our community levels, there are people who are doing well in life in one area or another. Those can be used also as mentors. But by and large, I want to urge young people to believe in the spirit of working hard, and this mentality of get rich quick that is taking root in our nation should stop. The young people ought to know that by working hard, by following the advice of their seniors, their mentors, and so on, they can do better in life academically. They can do well in other areas, other disciplines, like the talent areas, the sports, and so on. So the other thing I want to urge them is not to be lied to by anybody about drugs. Someone taking drugs and thinking you can do well, that one no. Let them just go the normal way. And then last thing I like telling young people, sometimes later on in life, you may never know where God will put you. I usually tell young people, please, at whatever stage, at that stage you are, ensure you do well what is expected of that stage. For example, I look at our politicians. What is happening in Kenya? You hear somebody has grown like that. Later on in life, he has become rich, but he discovers when he was in school, he did not work well. We did not work hard academically, and the academics are required now for you to exercise leadership. And because you have wealth, you want to exercise leadership over other people. So what are our politicians doing? Crooking certificates, putting things here and there. And then now you end up getting into loggerheads with the law of the land. How I wish that people can say that there is time for everything. When you are at school, work hard in school, ensure that you do things right, academically do the right thing, don't cheat in exams. God has an opportunity for all of us, so that later on when you God lifts you up and you become very rich and you want to become a leader, you will not start going to River Road to come up with a certificate just because you did not get one when you were in school. So there is I can say the field is wide and large for people to become what they want to become. It's not a pond. I would refer to it. It's an ocean of opportunities for our young people. All they need is work hard. All they need is ensure that they follow the rules, because the world will never operate without rules. In the absence of rules, they say is anarchy. the absence of rules, the absence of law. So if all of us operate within the law, we work hard, the youth, I believe the opportunities are just immense. So they can make it. Young people can make it. God has intended that these young people are the ones who will take over positions of leadership when the older generations leave the stage. So let them continue working hard. The opportunities are there and they can make it. Yes.
So what wangu hapa, as you have heard from Mr. Samson, is that opportunities are everywhere as long as you work hard towards your goal. And today being a day of a difference from us, we really appreciate your time, and Marin, asante sana for having us. We really appreciate it because we know you are a very busy man and you have given us your time so that we can talk and at least give an advice to the young people out there and any other person who want to succeed in life. So guys, as you have heard, that's all we had for you today. Remember, go down there, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share with family and friends. Till next time, bye bye.